When we talk about focus, most people immediately think about willpower, motivation, or discipline. And while those things do matter, the truth is this: your environment is silently shaping your ability to concentrate far more than you realize. You could have the strongest intention to sit down and get something done, but if your environment is fighting you, your biology is already working against you. Think about it. The last time you sat down to do something important, how many times did your phone buzz? How often did you glance at it, even if you told yourself you wouldn't? Or maybe it wasn't your phone, maybe it was that one open browser tab you just checked for a minute. That turned into 20 minutes, and then you wonder, why can't I focus? The problem isn't that you lack discipline, it's that your environment is designed to pull your attention away. Your brain evolved in a world where every sound and movement could mean danger or opportunity. That same wiring is still alive today, which means every ping, every notification, every little flash of color on your screen is triggering your ancient survival circuitry. You're not weak for getting distracted, you're human, but here's the good news: you can flip that wiring in your favor. The first step is simple but non-negotiable. Remove distractions before you start. Silence your phone, or better yet, put it in another room. Studies show even the mere presence of a phone within arm's reach reduces cognitive capacity. Your brain is holding back processing power just in case it needs to check that screen. It's like trying to run a race with a weight strapped to your ankle. Take the weight off and suddenly you're faster without extra effort. Second, optimize the light around you. Most people don't realize how dramatically light influences focus. Bright, overhead light, especially natural sunlight or artificial daylight lamps, activates neurons in the brain that signal alertness. Dim light, on the other hand, signals your body it's time to wind down. If you're trying to read, write, or work in a dimly lit room, you're essentially telling your nervous system to relax while asking your mind to stay sharp. That mismatch creates fatigue. Flood your environment with bright light during periods of focus, and you'll notice you naturally stay alert longer without pushing yourself. Temperature plays a role too. If a room is too warm, your body slides into a relaxed state and your focus fades. Cooler environments, nothing extreme, just slightly cool, send subtle signals that it's time to be alert. That's why people often feel drowsy in warm classrooms or offices, but sharper when there's a little chill in the air. By controlling temperature, you're not just making yourself comfortable, you're dialing in your focus. Then there's posture. This might seem minor, but it's powerful. When you slump in your chair, your breathing becomes shallow, your chest collapses, and oxygen delivery drops. That directly reduces mental sharpness. Sitting upright, shoulders open, breathing deeply, this creates a physiological state that supports mental clarity. Your body posture is not separate from your mind, it's the doorway into it. And here's something most people overlook: the physical clutter around you. A messy desk is not just an eyesore, it's cognitive noise. Each object, each paper, each random item is a visual cue pulling at your brain's attention, even if you don't realize it. When you clear the space in front of you, you're not just making it tidy. You're removing micro distractions your nervous system would otherwise be processing in the background. The brain loves order. Give it order, and it rewards you with clarity. So you see, focus isn't only about what's happening inside your head. It's about shaping the external world so that your biology works with you, not against you. You don't need to fight distractions every second if you design an environment where distractions simply don't appear. It's like swimming downstream instead of upstream. You still put in effort, but the current carries you forward rather than pushing you back. When people say they can't focus, the first thing I ask them isn't about their motivation, it's about their environment. Because once you control your environment, focus stops being a battle, and it starts feeling natural. That's the leverage point. So remember this: Discipline starts with design, and the environment you create today is the focus you'll experience tomorrow. Once you've set up your environment to work in your favor, the next layer of focus is not outside of you, but inside of you. Because the truth is, no matter how clean your desk is, no matter how bright your light is, if your mind and body are out of sync, focus slips away like water through your fingers. And the reason for this is simple. Your brain does not operate in isolation. It is inseparably tied to your body. Every breath you take, every shift in your posture, every beat of your heart is sending signals back to your brain that either sharpen or scatter your attention. Think about a time you were nervous, maybe before an exam, a big meeting, or even a conversation that mattered. Your heart rate spiked, your palms got sweaty, your breathing became shallow. Did you notice how much harder it was to think clearly in that moment? That's not a coincidence. Your body was signaling to your brain that you were under threat, and your brain responded by narrowing its capacity to focus only on survival. The reverse is also true. When your body calms, your mind steadies, and suddenly focus becomes accessible again. So here's the key. If you want to boost focus in minutes, you must learn how to master your mind-body connection. And the fastest way to do that is through breathing. Most of us go through the day without ever noticing how we breathe. Short, shallow inhales through the mouth keep the body in a low-level stress state. But if you take control, if you breathe deeply through your nose, filling the diaphragm and exhaling slowly, you immediately shift your nervous system. One of the simplest methods is box breathing. Inhale for 4 seconds, hold for 4, exhale for 4, hold for 4, and repeat. Do that for just 2 or 3 minutes, and you'll feel your body settle. Your mind sharpens right alongside it. Now, if you want an even quicker reset, there's something called the physiological sigh. It's a double inhale through the nose, one deep inhale followed by a shorter top, off breath, then a long, slow exhale through the mouth. Just 1 or 2 rounds of this can reduce stress instantly and bring you into a state where focus is not forced but unlocked. This is biology at work, not positive thinking. You are directly adjusting the machinery of your nervous system. Movement matters too. When you sit in one position for too long, your body stiffens, blood flow slows, and mental energy fades. A short reset, standing up, stretching your spine, rolling your shoulders, even just walking to the end of the room wakes up your system. There's a reason athletes warm up before competition. They're not just preparing their muscles, they're priming their nervous system for performance. You can use the same principle for mental performance. Small physical resets are like hitting refresh on your focus. And here's something most people don't realize. Even your eyes are part of this system. Your visual focus and your mental focus are tightly linked. When your eyes dart around scanning endlessly, your mind does the same. But if you deliberately fix your gaze on a single point for a few moments, your brain follows. The reverse is true as well. Widening your gaze, looking at the horizon or into peripheral vision, can relax the nervous system and reset your state. In other words, the way you use your eyes can either scatter or stabilize your attention. When you combine these tools, breathing, posture, movement, and visual control, you're no longer at the mercy of your body's signals. You're driving them. You can go from anxious and scattered to calm and locked in within minutes, without caffeine, without stimulants, without waiting for motivation to arrive. This is the hidden lever most people never pull. So if you want lasting focus, don't just think about training your brain. Train your body to become an ally. Because when your body is in the right state, your mind has no choice but to follow. Focus begins with the body, and when you learn to master that connection, clarity isn't temporary, it becomes your natural state. Once you've shaped your environment and mastered the connection between your body and your mind, there's still one more piece left. Because even if you create perfect conditions, even if you reset your nervous system with the right tools, focus itself is like a muscle. And like any muscle, it doesn't just get stronger because you want it to. It gets stronger because you train it. Most people expect themselves to be able to focus for hours at a time. They sit down, open the laptop, and say, "Okay, today I'm going to grind." And then 20 minutes later, they're scrolling, drifting, or wondering why it feels so hard to stay on task. That's not a personal flaw, that's biology. The brain wasn't designed to run in endless marathons of concentration. It was designed for bursts of intense focus, followed by recovery. What that means is, if you want permanent focus, you have to stop trying to brute, force it, and instead train it the way you would train endurance at the gym, one interval at a time. One of the simplest and most effective methods is what I like to call focus sprints. You set a timer, maybe it's 25 minutes, maybe 45, depending on your capacity, and during that time, you commit fully. No phone, no wandering, no split attention, just total immersion in the task at hand. When the timer goes off, you step away, reset your body, let your mind rest, and then come back for another sprint. Over time, these intervals condition your brain to lock in more quickly and to sustain that attention for longer periods. It's like building mental endurance, repetition by repetition. Now, the beauty of this is that the gains are permanent. Just as lifting weights rewires your muscles, focus sprints rewire the neural circuits responsible for attention. With consistency, you're not just practicing concentration. You're literally changing the architecture of your brain to make focus your default mode. What feels like a struggle today becomes effortless 6 months from now because the wiring has shifted. But here's something important. Consistency matters more than intensity. If you do one day of 8 hours of forced focus, you might feel exhausted, but you won't get lasting change. If instead you do 45 minutes of true, undistracted focus every day, you'll build more strength over time. It's the same principle as exercise. It's not the one brutal workout that transforms you, it's the steady practice that compounds. And let's be honest, focus is not just about productivity. It's about training yourself to do what matters without being constantly hijacked by everything else. Every time you resist the pull of distraction, every time you hold your attention on something meaningful, you're building a kind of mental discipline that carries into every part of life. You start noticing that conversations feel deeper, that learning feels easier, that even simple experiences become richer because your mind is actually present. There's another layer here too. Every time you finish a focus sprint, your brain gets a small reward. Dopamine, the neurochemical of motivation and drive, is released not just when you achieve something huge, but when you complete small, meaningful efforts. That means every time you train your focus, you're not only building endurance, you're also wiring your brain to crave more focus in the future. It becomes a self-reinforcing loop. The more you focus, the easier it becomes to focus again. So, if you want to make focus permanent, treat it as training. Don't expect perfection on day one. Instead, build capacity with consistent, deliberate practice. Just like the body adapts to resistance, the mind adapts to attention. It gets sharper, stronger, and steadier with use. In the end, focus is not something you chase, it's something you cultivate. And once you've trained it, it stops being an effort, it becomes who you are.